Welcome to episode 3 of Katanagatari. Last time we got the sword that can cut through anything, so we'll be going after another one this time. I've also been reading the book since the last episode, and I'm on the epilogue of book 1. It's been interesting seeing some of the differences, some of the extra details that are in the book, but we'll talk about that in more detail at another time, later in the video, or just in a future video. But for now, we're going to watch the episode and then discuss it at the end. I've got the subtitles and a timer if you want to follow along, or you can pull up the episode on your own. But either way, we're going to go ahead and watch episode 3 right now. So let's go in 3, 2, 1, play. So we've got Izumo. Alright, a little bit of time has passed. Who is this? Hello? Okay, Izumo is where we are right now. Who was that, though? Alright. Sento Tsurugi is the third one that we're going for. So last time was in a desert. This time we're back to a wooded region. So yeah, it's been interesting reading the book. It's mostly the same. It's just that, as you would expect from a book, there are more details that the show just doesn't have time to include. You get in the characters' heads more, hear a little bit more of their thoughts. A little bit of extra information here and there. Chances for a little bit extra meta. For Nisio, he seemed to, just throw in a little bit of his observational humor in there randomly. Like there was, I don't remember what it was, but it was something along the lines of somebody said something, a word that now has a different meaning, or has another meaning that it didn't used to have. And so he wrote in there like, it wouldn't be apparent for several hundred years why that was funny. Or something along those lines. Stuff like that he can throw in there. And being so dialogue heavy, it definitely works as a book. But yeah, we've got episode 3. Sento Tsurugi. Nice. Get a slinky. Do you know what movie that's a reference to? You did. We went through a desert. I don't think that's right, though. I think it's probably going to make it up like 10... What? There's multiple now. They're multiplying. What's happening? They've probably gone up like 10 steps. Really? You're saying this so proudly. Okay, a little more than 10. Alright, yeah. They didn't make it very far. God damn, girl. It seems like that's going to have to happen. Then you stay here. Then what do you want? He has licked you. All right. Is it not? The eye came out. You want him to just carry you over the threshold? Your bodies will still be in contact, okay? Is that less embarrassing? Is that different? He has licked you. You told him to lick you. But okay. Okay. That could be interesting. 1,000 swords in one. What does that mean? Like, can it multiply? Is it like an illusory technique? Can it cut like 1,000 different places at the same time? Oh god. Okay. Okay, we're fine. This would be her. Tsurugi Meisai? Alright, not a bandit anymore. Not involved in that business. And she took up the mantle. You probably had one. Nice artwork. If it's 1,000 swords and this is there's 1,000 maidens. That's a big-ass area. There's a lot of maidens. So they each have 1,000 swords? How is it 1,000 in one? I like her, I like the red and the eye pattern. I like her eyes. I like her design. Go play. So yeah, how does this work? 1,000 swords. And they all have one? Hi? Okay, great. Fine. I think I will mind them now that you've said that. And they're armed. Why are they all the same? Why do they all have the same height, build, and hair? The book did say that Shichika's 24, so Togame's 26, a couple of years above him. Around the same as Shichika's sister. I don't know exactly how old she is. Down the hatch. Drink. Unless I've already built up an immunity to the poison. With a series this dialogue heavy, I wouldn't be surprised if we went into a Princess Bride situation, back and forth. The sword. That's correct. And it was about the blade? Yep. So she knows that's what that means. Sure, that... Yeah, that. Okay, being fairly upfront. Where are they, by the way? Are they in that bag? Alright, we're trying the negotiations. I still don't know what that means. It's 1,000 blades. I'm just thinking of Senbon Sakura from Bleach. Negotiations are not going to work. These episodes are 50 minutes long. Things have to happen beyond the negotiations. And we don't get to hear what it is. He's just hanging out. Hi. Oh, we have a shy one. Maybe they're not used to men around? Okay, they're different heights. The same hair is a little freaky. It's just the part of the uniform, I guess. Well, apparently he's carrying two. I just don't know where they are right now, considering. But yeah, generally, he's not a sword boy. He is, but not. Mm-hmm. Oh, she might want... She wants a bit of a fight. She's excited. 1,000 swords versus no sword. We're gonna fight? Okay, so we're negotiating, but we gotta fight anyway, probably. The worst? Okay, the first one. It's 1,000 swords. What is the significance of the first one? Still feeling the hair. Alright, find it, and then we'll fight. Not fighting 1,000 people. We're just fighting her. Yeah, that's how it is. Not gonna happen. Oh no, an anime fall! I assumed he would land on her boobs. We didn't go there. He's just tangled in her hair. Maybe you should cut that. He didn't. This music, if that could even be called music. They were just like, what? But they reported back. Yeah, it's weird. Considering their parents. Mm-hmm. In the book, it actually said... Togame was saying, or thinking... that her hair did not turn white from terror, but from rage. Yeah, you're pretty intuitive. But that's interesting, thinking like she dresses that way to sort of maintain and protect her true self. It's a smart lady. I suppose. It looks fine. And if I ask you, does this make me look fat, the answer is no. I don't know what that means. The purple looks better, for sure. I like the way her outfit usually looks, but that's fine. Oh, okay. Oh, there they are. Yeah, just hang out here. Cool. He just gets to stay. There they are. Where are we? What is this? Oh, it's Hakuhei Sabi. Suddenly cutting to this. Bam. It's Kagura taking dudes out with his umbrella. This is it. The sword. Shiny. What's its deal? Well, okay, I don't know what he just did. But they fall for him. He's so impressive, even to the people that he kills. They can't help but think he's cool. His hair's weird, though. Okay. That happened. What? Sap, sure. Why? Somebody... What's the... this is very sudden. Okay, she protected her. Just a small wound. What's going on? Brave. Walking right into the sword swings. Right towards them. Is it? What just happened? Why did that happen? Could this girl just, like, not resist the temptation of the sword? And just... I guess? Is it that strong? That was bizarre. Oh, it's another Maniwa. It's got chains. It's Datara. Okay. I like the theme of their designs. They all have the hat thing going on. It's weird for ninjas, but I think it works. Okay, well, this shakes things up a little bit. I think you should have been in the last episode. But yeah, now we got this guy in here. killing some dudes. Okay, how is that going to change things? We've got her wanting to fight him when they find the original, and now he's here. They are not fans of you. Yeah, go ahead and help. You got nothing else to do. Much easier for you to get it done. Okay, they're coming around. They understand that you're not Satan. Well, okay. No problem. Well, they're kind of like him then. He didn't know too many people until recently either. Soothe the soul. Isn't it generally the opposite? This one is different? This one feels different than the others? Rather than poisoning, it soothes. Yeah, usually. No, but you can now. You have to be direct with him. Makes them feel like they have protection. Makes them feel safe. Oh, okay. I mean, I said they could not be comfortable around men, but like to that extent? All 1,000 of them? So they. Wow. Wielding the weapons makes them feel like they have some form of protection. Yeah, wow. That's fucked. I guess she knew about that then. Okay, it's not just about feeling like they have protection. I understand that in a way, yeah. So it's like the what would normally be the poison from the swords actually helps them in a way. Yeah, that's interesting. Using them for good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's freaky, actually. Just, oh, okay. Yeah, it works. Damn. So how is this gonna work? I'm still confused about the nature of this sword. Like it's just 1,000 swords that are the same, but are just normal swords. Are they gonna take all 1,000? When they mentioned finding the original, I was thinking that's the one that like really matters, and they'll take that one. But are they gonna take all 1,000? How do you even do that? And also, like, yeah, obviously she wouldn't want them to take them because they need them for these girls. So this is weird. I'm curious about how this works. Yeah, I'll take your word for it. Well, he hasn't really mastered, like, politeness or how to interact. The boy is a sword. Just gotta do it. Seems like that's it. That's it. Didn't meet anybody till recently. Wow. Okay, so when she said she washed her hands of that business, she did that by killing them all. Those are the ones that she remembers. So how many did she kill as a bandit? No idea. Yeah, did not work. Oh? Huh. Oh, hey, he's here. Okay. Interesting. Maybe, like, there's many possibilities for what it could have been, but maybe his father was dying. Sickness or just age. And he asked him to put him out of his misery or something. Maybe, like, let me be killed by the Kyotoryu rather than by whatever. But this guy's here now. Okay. Oh, he likes it. Okay. Sure. These Maniwani really like to hear themselves talk. They really like themselves a lot. Alright, we got swords on chains. That's nice. So we got 1,000 swords, no swords, chain swords. No, nobody thinks you should have been in episode 2. We already had one guy. He talked backwards. He died immediately. We didn't have time for you. Okay. Yeah, let's see what Sentoryu is all about. Alright, we got a fight. I assume she's gonna kick his ass. And we'll see what this Sentoryu is, or he'll just run ahead. I guess he wasn't listening. Oh shit. She said she'll take care of it. That's nice. You be proud of that, buddy. Okay. And she's just gonna take him out. Is that it? What did she even do? Holy shit! I don't know what she even did. Okay, well, cool. So the Maniwa just are shit. I guess. They show up, they're really annoying, and then they die. Okay. Oh, we got it. Is that it? This one looks the oldest? Are you sure it's not a trick question? That maybe there's more to it than that? Really? Did she not even know? Like, what? Like, she didn't even know if it was the original one or not? It was some other kind of test? I don't know. Maybe she was looking for the original herself? Just had her find it for her? Yeah, let's see what the hell this is. The Maniwa guy, like, he showed up and just died, and now it's like, that may as well have not even happened. It's weird to think that that just happened. Now this is what we're the real conflict here. Okay, fight! Throws the sword and the sheath and runs away. The Joestar strategy of running away is going to lead him to a place that's more advantageous for her. Oh, she got another one. Close. She's got them hidden away. They could be anywhere. You gotta be very observant. You gotta watch out where you go. Yeah. I like the red sheaths. Okay. That might be what it was. It wasn't about finding the original. That had nothing to do with it. That didn't matter. They just wanted to set this up. So that's what the whole style's about. Utilizing many swords. Pick up a random sword and make use of it. Okay. What is her connection to that? He was the Lord of Oshu. I don't know if we had heard that detail before. It's interesting that she had this fighting style, and then she got this sword that there's 1,000 of. Lost her family, all the people, and like the thing she prided herself in. Yeah, her beliefs about Centauriu. That's a cool shot. From there, became a bandit. Alright, so he had it. So it's just about taking any sword you can grab. And using them all. Yeah, this seems kind of fated. A lot of killing. Like him. Like Shichika. Not really gonna think about it. Yeah, they said most of them were already there. Wow, yeah. I like this character. This is an interesting character to be facing against. Forgive those girls. She actually killed him. And she gave up the ways of being a bandit after killing 43 people. Wow. And took care of the girls. And she brought in the swords, and then some girls came and joined after hearing about her and hearing about the swords, I guess. This sword is really weird to me, but it being tied into her character is, and this type of fight is interesting. I kind of don't want her to die. It'd be cool if she didn't. I'm not holding out hope, but it'd be nice for her to live. I like her. Alright, so he's used to hunting. Do you have a trap of your own? Nice. Yeah. I could kind of picture that happening. Sure. Yeah, okay. I don't know. What are you talking about? Alright, what are you doing? He just ran out of it. Okay, no traps around the house. I get his logic there, but that was anticlimactic. He just ran out of the woods. Alright. I thought she's saying like it's... Yeah, I was wondering that too. How are you going to take him back? She was saying it's invincible. You can't escape it. But you can. Just run. Then you'll escape it. She's planning on dying here. She's not gonna surrender. She's not gonna give in. It's victory or death for her. I mean, it apparently worked. That's true too. Like it just will become a bigger poison. If it's a cure that when you take it away they're broken again, then it's not really a cure. It's a temporary thing. Kind of knew that one day like it would have to come to an end. Hey, he's got swords out here too. Oh, okay, she has the original one hidden out here. Yeah, how? Can just tell. That's right. It's interesting, they're both like smiling and the music is swelling and building up. But this is sad because I don't want her to die and she shouldn't have to die. But she has accepted death and that's unfortunate. And like I don't want this to happen. And it sucks that it has to. Oh shit. God damn, what the hell? The power of Sosuke Aizen. I would imagine he did it. And now it rains. Because sad. There we go. It's that simple. I did it. I won. She's thinking about it a little more in depth than he is. Yeah, but I mean, the way it turned out, he kind of did. He doesn't understand what the problem is. So we get 1,000 swords now. How do we carry them, and where do we keep them? It's still really weird. We'll talk about it in the discussion. I would hope so. Hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah, I mean, what about that? Yeah, but now that they had it, like, they're gonna be experiencing withdrawals. I don't know about that. I don't think she considered you losing. Yeah. Piggyback. Music. Oh, shit. Smooth. Well, and she dies. And they both die. They fell down the stairs and broke their necks. It was a very tragic, anticlimactic end of their journey. 3 episodes, and we're done. Oh. Really? Oh, okay. That's sooner than I expected. Well then. That is probably it. Probably nothing after the ED or the preview. I think I have quite a bit to say about that episode, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Alright, episode 3. I enjoyed episode 2 more than the first one, and now I've enjoyed episode 3 more than episode 2. So far, the show has just been getting better and better. I thought this was the most interesting episode with the most interesting character that we've met. It was really good, and I think there's quite a bit to talk about. I don't even know where to begin, but we've got the sword this time, which is really weird. I definitely want to talk about this and hear other people's thoughts on this. In terms of the actual sword, it's the worst one of the 3 so far for me because it has nothing special about it at all. I talked about in episode 2 how I'm starting to temper my expectations for what these swords are going to be like. They're not going to be crazy like Bleach Bankai releases or anything. It seems like we're keeping it relatively small scale and realistic-ish in what these swords can do, keeping them as swords as much as we can while still giving them some kind of special properties. And so this episode really cemented that from now on, I am not going to be on the lookout for like super crazy sword powers. If we ever get like 1 or 2, then it'll be a nice surprise. But for now, I am realizing that is not the focus of the series, which is disappointing because when you write these 12 books or make these 12 episodes that all do focus around one special sword and you hype them up so much, it's a little disappointing. But there is a lot else going on. It's also the scenarios that the swords are in, the people that have them and whatnot, and the different fighting styles they use, and the different characters that they are. It's not all about the swords. But if the swords were more unique, that would just be even better. You know, the way it was hyped up at the beginning, like they say, you know, owning one of the Shikizaki blades, you could take over a country or whatever. They're so crazy. All those 1,000 swords were all experiments for these 12. It's like, oh shit, what are these 12 swords gonna be? And then it's like, they're pretty normal mostly. Like they're a little bit better than average, but they're fine, I guess. But yeah, this one is... It's not a sword. It's 1,000 swords. So the number is just way off. But it's considered one sword. 1,001. But it's not. It's 1,000. This is really weird. Like, it's just... They're just swords. They're not unbreakable. They can't cut through anything. They don't do anything. They're just normal swords. And they all just look the same. There was one sword made as a basis, and then 999 more made to be exactly the same as that one. And, like, what, who cares? Like, what does that matter? What does the fact that they look identical have to do with anything? If they didn't look identical, it would be the same thing. Why is that a special sword? Now, it seems like there's literally like a supernatural aura to these swords, judging by what we've talked about in this episode, which I didn't really take it that way previously. When they talked about the sword's poison, I always just thought that was interpreted as the sword's power, like people were drawn to its power. They get their hands on that and they're just so greedy and power hungry that they just can't let go. But here, when she talks about like there's literally gotta be some thing to these swords beyond human understanding, and that he can tell that that's the original sword because of the aura that it has about it and how the other ones didn't have that aura. It seems like there's like literally something to them that make them different. So in that regards, I guess it's that. That's what makes them, or at least the original, stand out. But in terms of being swords, they're just swords. It's lame. Yeah, in terms of a sword ability, because it's not one. But luckily, everything else in this episode was great. While the sword itself was confusing and weird and kind of nonsensical, the character that we meet and how she uses it and her backstory and everything were pretty great. Like, I was really intrigued at first. They talked about 1,001, and I was like, what does that mean? Can it multiply? Is it some kind of illusion thing? Like, what's going on here? And then it's just, oh, it's 1,000 different swords. But yeah, they all happen to have the Shikizaki properties. But yeah, the fact that we're in this shrine with all these 1,000 shrine maidens, each wielding one of these swords, and that they are all victims of horrible abuse by men. And so they're afraid of men, they're afraid of Shichika, they are horribly traumatized, they wear these masks to cover up, which is just kind of a secondary thing. The main thing is having the swords for protection and to help them feel safe, which would be the case even if they were just normal swords that would help them feel like they could stand on an uneven playing field with some man who was threatening them. But the fact that it's a Shikizaki sword just helps that even further. And I buy into what she was saying about how normally it's a poison, it's a curse, but to them it's working as a medicine. And I think that's really interesting that we found such a use for the Shikizaki blades. This is a really unique setup, and that's definitely what I'm looking forward to seeing going forward. Now that I'm seeing more of what the swords themselves are going to be like, I'm looking more forward to the scenarios surrounding the swords and the characters surrounding them and how those will be unique, because this is very different. Episode 2 was pretty different than Episode 1, and now this is different. How we have sort of negotiations going on with her and learning about her, but her wanting to see what the Kyotoryu was all about and setting up this fight between them and everything, and then it playing out the way that it did, the fight playing out differently than the fights in the first 2 episodes. It was definitely unique. And like I said, surrounded by this really good character. I really liked her design. I liked the eyes a lot, and I was really hoping she'd be able to live. It didn't really seem like it was going to go that way. I had a feeling that they weren't going to be that nice, but I was hoping that she could live. She did, at the beginning of the fight, say that surrendering will be an option. You don't have to die in order to lose, so I was hoping she could live because I liked her, and I thought she was a very interesting character, and I really liked her backstory about how she lost everything, lost her family, everybody. Even the Sentoryu itself, her fighting style was proven useless, and she lost her belief in that, ended up just using it to be a bandit and killed who knows how many people. And then the fact that she heard about this place, this haven for abused girls, and this just angered her and made her think, like, why wasn't I saved? Especially because of this land. They were talking about how it's something about the gods, and she was like, aren't the gods supposed to help everyone? And this just made her so angry, and she actually killed the former priest. Just straight up killed him. But his dying words, asking her to forgive the girls and spare them and that they didn't do anything wrong, made her rethink things, because nobody had ever behaved that way when they were dying before in her experience, and the fact that he was being selfless and thinking about them, and it made her for the first time stop to think about what she was doing, because she never had before. After she lost everything, she just started using her fighting style to kill without really thinking about why she was doing anything, why she was continuing on at all, and this made her finally stop and do that. And of course she took over the shrine, gave the girls the swords to help them out further. More girls came, and she's running this great place, and it really does seem like fate. That's mentioned multiple times about how Shichika and Togame could be fated to be together. Of course, their fathers are connected, and how she had this fighting style, Sentoryu, which works perfectly with this sword, and it's like they were fated to be, which definitely kind of seems that way. The only thing I can think of with this, the blades being the way that they are, that I could kind of maybe logic in my head a little bit, is Sentoryu as a fighting style starts out similarly to Kyotoryu, unarmed, but then it's about utilizing any blades that you find or that your opponents have and using them, and then they're dispensable, throw them away and get more. It's just overwhelming numbers being able to utilize blades like that. And so maybe, like, if all the blades are exactly the same, that makes it easier. Because, if a blade is a slightly longer, slightly different shape, various different things about different blades, there might be a slight difference in the way that you wield them. But if they're all exactly the same, that makes it a little easier, makes it more uniform. Like, once you've mastered one, the other 999 are all the exact same sword, so you never have to worry about, like, oh, there's that extra little bit of weight that I'm not used to. That's the only thing that I can logic. But the fact is, Sentoryu was already a fighting style, regardless of this blade, so that hardly seems really relevant, and I kind of just had to pull that out of my ass. There's really nothing in the show that suggests that. It might be the case, though, but yeah, either way. It works perfectly with her style, and like I said, once we actually got into the fight and see how she's using it, it was pretty cool, her running to places that she's planted these swords. I like that the whole quest to find the first one was just a diversion, so they had time to set all this up. She's running to places where she has them tied up, and she's got all these swords all over the place. Although I will say, the fight itself was extremely anticlimactic. That was another problem I had with the episode. Episode 2, it was as well, but it worked a little better there just with the way the fight was set up, because it was all about like a quick exchange of blows. Like, he's slicing at light speed, so you just got to get in there and try to hit him real quick. Here, he's surrounded, it is in the woods, there's blades tied to all the trees, and she's like, there's blades everywhere, you can't escape, it's invincible. He just sort of runs straight out of the woods. Like, I get where he was coming from his experience. You don't set a trap near your house, so running towards there, and towards where Togame was, there's less likely to be traps over there, so I'm going to run in that direction. I get that, but, I mean, he just ran out of the woods. Like, it seemed like the entire point was, there are swords everywhere, I could come from anywhere, you cannot get out of this, because no matter which way you try to go, there's going to be a sword there, and I'm going to get you. But he could just run out of the woods. She's saying there's no escape, when literally there is. You just have to escape. You just have to leave. And it wasn't like some weird obscure route. He just ran seemingly straight ahead through a pretty open path. This might have worked better in the book. It might be the kind of thing that works better when you're not seeing it and you have to imagine it, and it might be describing like a more specific path that he takes, but then the way they animated it in the show, he really just kind of runs forward. He just runs out of the woods. Either way, I was like, oh. I kept waiting for like the punchline, like, what did he do? What just happened? And then the reveal is that he just ran out of the woods. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I really like her. She was very powerful, for sure. She's killed tons of people. Killed all 43 of those bandits, went back and just took them out. Killed the Maniwa guy easily. She was very smart, very intuitive, and I liked her a lot. So to see him escape that trap, which was also pretty cool, so easily was weird. It definitely made the final confrontation. It added to it, for sure, because it was sad. Because I didn't want her to die, but it was clear that she wasn't going to surrender, she's not going to give in, and for her it's victory or death, and she's accepting her death here, and we know that Shichika's gonna be able to beat her, and therefore is going to kill her, and the way they're both acting so happy about it, and he's like, yep, I'm gonna kill you, and she's kind of accepted it, and the music is swelling to this fight that I don't want to happen. Just kind of like the fact that he overwhelmed her so easily kind of makes it sadder, but yeah, that part of the fight definitely wasn't my favorite. The final confrontation, though, it definitely worked. And I really like a lot of the conversations that we have here about Shichika and about him being a blade and whatnot, how she tries different ways to reason with him. She tries sympathy, like, do you really want to take these swords away from these girls? She tries all these different tactics, asking him why he's fighting, and if he's ever stopped to question it, because of course she hadn't when she was younger, so she could relate to that and was asking him why he fights, and all he can really say is that it's for Togame. Good or bad, no other thinking is involved, I'm just gonna do it. And him being a blade, and that's really interesting. Like when we see him at the end there, just kind of blank, emotionless, I did it! Just covered in blood, the way a blade would be. Whereas you have Togame over there, who's thinking about it a lot more than he is, because she is the one who really caused this. She's the one who sought him out and sent him on this mission, and she is basically the swordsman. He even says, a sword chooses its master, the way I chose Togame, but the sword doesn't choose who to slay. Like, Togame is the one who wielded Shichika to kill this woman. And she sees it and she's like, did you really have to? And the way it played out, he really did, because she wouldn't surrender. But, you know, she's thinking about it more. She knows more about just generally everything than he does. He doesn't fully understand. And so I have to wonder how she's going to feel about this going forward. She kind of just drops it. She says, good job. I think because she realizes, like, there's no point. There's nothing she can say here to him in this moment. But going forward, is her resolve going to be shaken? Because the whole point of... one of the reasons Shichika seemed to want to go with her in the first place was because of her strong resolve, being willing to seek out the man who killed her father, or as it turned out, his son, to ask for help, because that's how badly she wanted this. And she had to know that these kind of things were going to happen. But actually seeing it happen now, is that ever going to shake her resolve and make her think, I shouldn't be doing this? Is she going to stay firm in what she wants? Is it going to be like, well, I've already come so far, I can't turn back now. We already killed that lady, so I just gotta keep going. I don't know, but we'll see. Togame was a little annoying in this episode, like on the stairs, when she was like, oh no, you can't carry me, that's whatever, I can't piggyback you, and it's like, you have him like feel your hair and like touch you and lick you and shit, and it's like, whatever. But I liked that aspect of her in this episode, and I want to see where that'll go, and what Meisai was saying about Togame, how she was, again, very observant and intuitive about her hair, and realizing what must have happened to cause a change like that in someone's hair, but how she kind of still was trying to retain herself, and how she pointed out the color of her clothes is a way to do that. Maintain who she was or who she would have been. I like that a lot, and like I said in the reaction, the book had Togame saying that her hair didn't turn white because of terror, it turned white because of rage. So it's kind of cool to see her like trying to maintain herself through all that rage, and I wonder if the reason she hasn't cut it, because it's so long, is just like as a reminder Like, the white hair is a reminder of what happened, and she doesn't want to cut it off. Like, maybe she'll cut it when it's all done, but for now, let it grow out. But yeah, of course, he does end up killing Meisai and takes the swords. I don't know how they've taken 1,000 swords. Are they in that bag? That's not possible. I don't know where they're going to put them, how they're going to keep them. I might not be... Maybe I'm not supposed to think about that. How they're transporting these swords and where they're keeping them and why they never get stolen. Maybe they will at some point, I don't know. But she does even bring up in this episode, how are you going to bring them all? So I can't not think about it. But, yeah, I mean, hopefully the shrine will be in good hands. I'm sure it will be, that eventually these girls will be okay. But for now, there is the very real issue of them taking the swords away. They do say, like, well, then we're just returning it to the state that it was in before the swords were introduced. But the thing is, the swords were introduced. You basically introduced this drug, and now they don't have it anymore. So even if just temporarily, like, they're gonna be in such terrible condition, I have to just assume that it'll work out, that they'll be okay in the end. Because, I mean, we saw that one girl. This scene came out of nowhere, and I was like, what the hell happened? And it was really bizarre. Where the girl just grabbed the sword and attacked Togame and was just swinging the sword, and I was like, what the hell happened? And Meisai was super brave, walking towards the girl swinging the sword and calming her. Again, I really liked her character. She was great. Sucks that she's dead. But she calmed her down, and I was like, what the hell was that? What happened? But we understand that more because we later find out how traumatized they all were. So now, you take these swords away, and I guess I just have to hope they'll be okay. She knew that this was like a temporary solution and that it maybe wasn't a good idea. I like it for sure, using them for good like this. I think it was an interesting idea, but she says, maybe in the grand scheme of things, maybe I knew that this couldn't last, that it wasn't a good idea to use them this way, and eventually some people would come and stop it and hopefully have a better method. So I just have to hope it works out. Speaking of scenes that just kind of randomly happen, like that, like it felt like when that girl attacked, Hakuhei Sabi, we just randomly cut to that a little bit. He was just there, he killed some guys who were all rapey, and they thought he was real cool, and then that was that. Killed him, his blade was shiny, killed him real fast, don't know what he did. But then at the end of the episode they say we're fighting him next week. I assumed he was like final boss material, he was going to be way later. And maybe he still will be, maybe the next episode they'll both survive and he'll live to fight again later in the series. Or not. Maybe next episode will just be him and we'll take care of him. I'm not sure. But either way, I didn't expect to face him so soon, so I'm excited about that. Also, speaking of random and seemingly irrelevant, the Maniwani, he showed up, just one of the guys. He had chains. He was annoying. Biggest surprise. Really loved himself, really proud of himself, really loved to hear himself talk and scream, and had an annoying voice, and then he died. So I guess that's just the thing with the Maniwani, they just suck, and then they just die. Okay. The first one, he was our main opponent, but then in episodes 2 and 3, we just introduced to these guys, and they're annoying, and they immediately get killed. I didn't think that was going to happen with this guy, I wasn't totally sure. I'm like, how is he going to play into this? How is he going to change up what we're doing here with the Sentoryu versus Kyotoryu? He just comes in and immediately dies. It was another good scene for her, showing how badass she was, and I like how Shichika kind of ran in there anyway, even when she told him not to. Like, he doesn't think about it. He's a sword, he's gonna go do it. But she gets in there first. I don't even know what she did. I don't know if somehow she grabbed one of his swords and attacked him, but it was badass. And he just died, and it may as well have not even happened. So I think that's the joke. Like, I think these Maniwani are just supposed to be a joke. They're just supposed to be shitty and not important, and they're just gonna show up and die. I don't know if that's gonna keep happening, because there's supposed to be 12 bosses of them or whatever, so I guess we're just gonna have one in every episode. I don't know if it'll be like this every time, but it's been twice in a row now where they show up, are annoying, do nothing, and immediately die. So it's like, okay, I guess that's just that. That's what's happening. So yeah, some of Togame's stuff on the stairs, like I said, were a little annoying, but we had some bonding scenes like that with her and Shichika, like him carrying her, or saying at the end that he's gonna carry her again, and whatnot, and how she didn't think he would lose, or when he falls on top of her, I was like, is this anime trope? Is this the anime trope? Is he gonna grab her boob? No, we don't go there, nothing like that. Just gets wrapped up in the hair, because he's still feeling up the hair, trying to memorize what she looks like. A little bit of meta in this episode when she's like, I have to be able to see the attack if I'm going to write this book. Because actually in the first book, which I'm almost done with, it doesn't describe the attack that he does on the Maniwa guy. We don't see it. It just, he takes the stance and he yells out the name of the attack, and then we just cut to Togame, and then he shows up and he's like, yeah, I did it. It doesn't describe the series of attacks, because she wasn't there to see it, I guess. So she's like, I have to be able to see it. And also the Maniwa guy was like, you're saying that I should have shown up last month? And I'm like, no. We already had an annoying Maniwa guy last month. We don't need another one. You're fine. Also, apparently Shichika killed his father. That's a thing. So if I had to guess, I'm just thinking that maybe his father was dying, he was sick, or he was just old, and he didn't want to go out like that. Maybe he wanted Shichika to kill him so he could be taken out by the Kyotoryu, which would be like more honorable to him. Maybe he wanted Shichika to like have the experience of killing a person, so he would know what it was like in case he ever went to the mainland, so that he wouldn't just think it's okay to kill randomly. I don't know, there's a lot of possibilities here. There could be more to it than that, but he killed his father. But yeah, just this episode characterizing Shichika so much as a blade, and the fact that they killed this woman who was super sympathetic, and that I liked as a character, and that you don't want him to kill, and it's this kind of no-win situation, and it's very sad, and in a way they're kind of framed as the bad guys. They're just kind of, and not in episode 1, but in episode 2, they just went out to the desert, went into some guy's house, killed him and stole his sword. And now in this one, they just went to this place, killed this woman and stole all her swords, which were helping these traumatized girls recover from their abuse. And it's not even for like saving the world or anything, it's for Togame's own personal reasons. So, yeah, this episode really reinforced that, and it's kind of making them seem like they're not on some kind of moral journey, which is interesting. I want to see how it treats that going forward, how it treats their characters, and what other kind of stories we'll get like that in the future, and where it'll all end up. Because it's really interesting. There's a lot to think about from this episode, and a great character that they introduced, and unfortunately she died. And that's about it for now. It was a lot. So, yeah. Let me know what you thought of the episode. We can talk about it more in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. New episode of Katanagatari every Wednesday. Also check out the Discord if you want to come hang out and talk some more. And the Patreon if you want to support my channel and get early videos and some other rewards and whatnot. Those links are in the description below. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.